Please welcome Tomas Votruba.
Good to see you here. So I welcome you to my very first LARACON. It's amazing to be here. And as Kanya said, I have this weird thing for legacy code. I really love very old and dirty code. That's like my thing. So I see we have like a lot of new stuff and new features. So I'm the total opposite of that. So you're probably wondering, I want to ask you, how many of you works with Laravel here? Yeah, good. And how many works with Symfony? Awesome. I'm not alone. Yeah. So you're wondering, how does a Symfony guy gets to a LARACON? And to be honest, I have no idea. It kind of happened super randomly. Like last year, before the New Year's Eve, I was in a sauna with a friend, and I was like in kind of a lonely spot, and I wanted to try some change. So I decided I will go to Portugal. Yes. It's an amazing country. And I wanted to like be alone, spend some time, read a book, have a walk. And there was some guy on Twitter tweeting, some Nuno was tweeting, there is some PHP meetup, first one in Portugal, in Porto. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can go to PHP meetup on my vacation. And I met these crazy, weird, random, very friendly people. And I had a talk, I had a beer with them. It was super weird experience for me, like for developers being so friendly and welcoming. And they were like, yeah, it was a nice evening, but if you want to come, like in 5 days, we have this PHP meetup in Lisbon. Like, yeah, I wasn't in Lisbon. Let's go to PHP meetup in Lisbon. And I end up in Lisbon PHP meetup, and they said, hey, there is some conference in Lisbon as well next week. Like, okay, but I don't know any Laravel. Like I saw it maybe once in my life. And they said, it doesn't matter, you can just come, talk with people. Maybe you will learn something new. So I took it as an opportunity to expand my framework toolkit. And I was very fortunate to meet a mentor there. I don't know if you know Patricio. He's doing some great content. Yeah, he actually turned me. Because after LARACON, we were drinking in a bar, and I was tired, and I was like, hey, Patricio, I have this project in Symfony. It's small, but I just finished it. I want to publish it, but maybe you can help me to switch it to Laravel. But I'm too tired. I had like 3 beers. Maybe we can do it another time. And he was like, no, come on, let's do it. Yeah, you can do it. So we opened the computer. We installed this Livefire and some other tools. And basically in an hour, he helped me to build my first Laravel project. And I was like, that was kind of easy. I'm not used to that. So, so 3 weeks after, I tried to experiment alone, because it's easy if you have somebody next to you, but if you do it alone, it's maybe not that easy. So I switched my website from Symfony to Laravel, and it worked. It took like a few days of work, and I was like, maybe I can do more. So I tried to learn how the Laravel container works, and I switched my tools to Laravel container. It's like, wow, it's so easy and fast. It's weird. More people should know about it. And so I wrote this like funny article that's very favorite on Reddit. And I tried to put together like what needs to be done to switch a framework of your project. And last but not least, do you use PHP Stan here? Yeah, good. So like Blade and PHP Stan, I was like, it's in PHP already. Let's try some analysis of the Blade, and it works pretty well. So I published a package, and now it's maintained by somebody else. But I had this great experience of Laravel community is so welcoming and so friendly, and I'm grateful to be here with you. So I want to say just thank you in the very start. And now let's get to the upgrades. Like the way we handle upgrades now are you probably know Laravel Shift, right? And you do it manually. Is somebody using Rector here? Awesome, awesome. So let's see if we get more people. So we have tools, we have hands, we have developers. But the problem is with upgrading, you have to do it really in small steps as often as you can. Like if you wait for 2, 3, 5 years, you're going to end up in a bad position. So we have this PHP, and actually this was my first talk about Rector 2019. Yeah, and we didn't have PHP 8 yet. And this was 2 years later, and everything that was new was dead at that time. And this is today, and basically the PHP 8 cool stuff are not recommended anymore. And next year we'll have the same until, I don't know. And we think like this is the way it is. It's okay. Every year there is a new version. But we also have frameworks and packages, and every year we have a new version of framework. Now there is new PHP unit, new doctrine, ORM packages. So it's quite a lot to handle. And actually my first experience with Laravel was when I was dealing with facades and aliases. It was for some project from Australia, and it got me thinking, it's too much work, maybe we can automate it. So we created a custom rule to rename classes. And this works very well. It actually helped with the blade templates as well. But it felt like it's, again, too much work. Like we are creating rules for this, for that. Maybe we can get the community on board. So there are two kinds of upgrades. If you have a legacy project with some very old version, and the goal, if clients come to us, they're like, oh, Tomas, we want new stuff, new PHP, everything new. You know, these new features, we want to attract developers. Because like Bobby said, if you have fresh code and latest Laravel PHP version, you can attract good developers that will stay with you. But what some people consider upgrade is just they make it look good by changing the composer version. But if they are hiring people, they say, oh, we have the latest PHP and Laravel. But then you come to the project, and it's a mess. Then you see a Tesla from distance, but when you come near, it's not an electric car. So this got me thinking, maybe we could automate and create something that would be built by community for the community, and free, and would run in CLI, and it would be available to any framework or package or group, even like Drupal and WordPress. And the goal was to make it as easy to write Rector rules. Rector rule is one rule that upgrades a thing. For example, it adds type properties in PHP 7.4. So anybody here could contribute. It should not be if you want to contribute PHP, you have to learn C, and that's a completely new language. So using PHP parser, I will not go in detail because Marcel has a talk in 3 hours about this. Using PHP parser, you can upgrade PHP using PHP. Okay, so now the fun part. I will show you some 5 things in Rector and how to do it. And let's see how that works out. So I will mirror this. Yeah. Can you see it? Yeah. Is it big enough? Yeah, good. I can make it smaller, maybe. Yeah. Let's see. Just a second. Is this okay? Yeah, good. Okay. So the thing about Rector is that you can install it on PHP 7.2 is like the minimum required version, and it doesn't conflict with anything else. So you can have Laravel 2, Laravel 4, 10, because it has isolated dependencies. So internally, it's using Laravel 11 now and Symfony console, but you can still install it anywhere, which is important if you want to upgrade. So I have just like 3 basic files. Some simple controller, then a repository with talks about ASD. It's very simple. Can I get? Sorry, I have some resolution that I cannot fit it. Yeah, good. So we have some objects created called talk and simple array filter with function, and then the value object talk with 3 properties. Very basic, very simple. So, by the way, this is all new features that I made in past 2 weeks. So you're the first one to hear it here, because like conferences is the best motivation to start working on something cool. So with Rector config, it's you configure the paths, and in previous times you could define sets of PHP rules. So you get like PHP rules for PHP 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, etc. But it was kind of difficult to know which to use when. So we added this method called with PHP sets. By the way, this might remind you Laravel 11 configuration, and we're actually very inspired by that. So we can just make one file and make it easy to configure. So the with PHP sets, what it does, it looks to your composer and see what version we have. So now we have 7.2, so it will use all the rules up to 7.2. So we can try run Rector with the dry run, so nothing changes and nothing has been changed. So let's try 7.4. This should like replicate the way you upgrade projects. So if you bump the composer version, Rector should follow. Okay, so we have one change here. Yeah, so Rector goes through your code and tries to find patterns that are defined in the rules. Here it looks for a function with single statements that could be converted to a short array function. Yeah, so if we are okay with the change, then you run diff without Rector without dry run, and it actually changes the code. So we can see it changed the code. We can see the diff. Okay, let's commit just to have everything here. So let's try upgrading PHP 8. If Rector has something new for us. Oh, we have to change PHP. So I have locally 7.2, so let's go PHP 8.0. Okay, nothing new. Good. So let's go up to PHP 8.2. And as you can see, Rector goes through your code, and it tries to identify read-only properties. And it also converts properties to property promotion. So if we run Rector now, we should have the value object with the, yeah. So we could also run some coding standard tool. It's up to you which one you prefer. And it converted the param, property assign, and property to simple property promotion from PHP 8.0. So The cool thing about this, you can put this into your CI, and you can let Rector warn you about what is new and work for you. So you don't have to ever follow what's new in PHP. But as I showed with the Tesla and the old car behind it, we could have new PHP. We can have even 8.3, but our code is still not in the best shape. So we have this method called with type coverage level, which is similar to levels from PHP Stan. So you go from 0 and you can go higher and higher. This is something we added so it's easy to integrate with new project. So you don't have a million change files, but you can do it one rule at a time. So let's see how if you run Rector now, what's new? Talk. There was some syntax error. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I have to change the PHP. Yeah. So what Rector does here, it knows the property name is typed with string. So if you have a getter with strict type property, you know it's a string. And the same here. Like Rector also is doing the type coverage and the PHP. So we can use read-only class, and we can remove the read-only from the properties themselves. Also, Rector can identify there is an identical comparison and return complete the bool return type declaration. This is actually very helpful if you have big code and you want to improve its quality, but you don't want to go through every file yourself. And as you go stricter and stricter, you can increase the level here and do it in your own pace. So in some projects, it can be easy to get, I don't know, to level 10, 20. In some, it can take time. So you can take your own pace. Okay, so the third thing is, even if you have the latest PHP and type coverage of all properties and everything, we can have some dead code in our project. And dead code is quite hard to find because we are usually used to just scan the code and see that everything in it is part of it. So let's try this method with that code level, which is also similar to previous one. Yeah, so we see we have reached the highest level possible because the level is based on the rules, so there's like 27 rules. Let's try again. Oh, it's this one, sorry. Okay, so this is the type complete. Yeah, so let's try the dead code level. Yeah, and as you can see, Rector went through the code, and it detected there is some isActive property that was defined in constructor, and it had a type, so it was well written, but there was a private method that was never used. So what Rector does is it spots the unused property, an unused getter, and removes it from the code. And there's 50 or 60 more checks like this. So this is something that Rector has out of the box. If you want to start using Rector, I would recommend going with the PHP sets and just set it to your current PHP version, and then follow up with these two methods starting from level 1, and you will see what Rector will find in your code base. And actually, yesterday I had a few questions about how to write custom rules. Because you can use prepared sets and prepared rules, but the more fun it's writing something your own on that's specific for your use case. I heard there were some rule sets for filament or livewire. There's also some set for PHP unit to pass conversion. So that's the real power of Rector if community takes the leap. So before it was kind of annoying to create a new rule and a custom test. So we made if you look what all rules we have, we made a new command called custom rule. And there was some async function. So what it does, you have to dump autoload to make a composer load it. What it does, it generates a utils directory with prepared basic empty. It's empty rule, but it's already in the right file, autoloaded in the right namespace, and it also helps you to prepare a test case. We will not go in detail in the test case because that would take longer time, and also Marcel will talk about PHP parser and AST later. But I want to show you how to create a simple rule that would, for example, rename a function, because that's most likely you will rename a function, rename a class, or do something like that. So the function call is a node called funcCall. So here we have two methods, get node types. That's the place where rectors listen. It's like event dispatcher or message queue. So we give it a funcCall node. And here we look for a function that's called dispatch now. So we can use rector rule method isName and check if the name is the one we want to work with. If not, we can return null and we continue. And here we work with the AST tree, which is like way of seeing code. If you know tokens from PHP parser, this is similar, but more object-oriented. So we can access the name of the method, we can access the arguments, we can access the visibility of class, and so on. So here we do just something very basic, like rename of the function. I don't know if it's called async or something like that. So what Rector does is go through your code, looks for the function calls, and if the name is dispatch now, it will try to rename it. So we get the Rector rule name. You have to use the right one. Here we can register custom rules. Let's see. Yeah, and as you can see, it does the job. So you can create a very simple rule like this to handle any work you need to do if it's not already prepared. And that gets me to my last example. Actually, in Laravel, you don't have to write rules on your own because there is this package from a guy called Driftingly, and we delegated a Rector rule set in his ownership like 2 years ago, and he's doing a great job in maintaining and adding new rules. So instead of writing custom rules, you can use with sets and make use of any set that is available. There is about like 15 sets handling Lara upgrade, handling some code quality, static, and so on. So we go with laravel 10, yeah. So now we don't use our custom rule anymore, but we are using set that somebody else has created. As you can see, it's still linked that code. Yeah. So this upgrade is already in there, so you can just like pull it and reuse it. So this was just like a brief overview how you can use Rector in your projects, how to enable it, and how to start using prepared sets and rules. And I have one more question for you, because what I don't like about Composer is having these 0 versions, because it looks like it's like a broken or beta or not finished. So I want to ask you, like, if you have some solution or improvement to how we can fix this. So I was like thinking maybe we can do, because I was wondering, I can do release at home alone next week. And then I had idea, or we can do it right now on the stage. Okay, so I'll do it at home. Thank you, thank you. So I've never done this before. I don't know how this works. Is it this, or should be something? Yeah? Should I push the button? S? What? Yeah. Okay. Is it released yet or not? No, what should I do? Push. Okay. Like this. Let's see if you have internet connection. Oh my God. Oh. Oh, okay. Now it's finished. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I have like two more slides. Yeah. So now. Yes, thank you, thank you. So what I wanted to show you is like the more rules each package maintainer does, the easier it is to use Rector itself. And here I would like to thank you, these two guys who are doing a great job in maintaining Laravel rules. They are adding new features, they are adding new rule sets, and you can try today. They've already done the work, and if there's something broken and you have another idea, you can do it yourself. And there is also some rule, even though Laravel 11 hasn't been released yet, the guys are already working on Laravel 11 upgrade rules. So thank you so much.
You're good?
Good, yeah, I'm standing. Yeah.
That's a stressful thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Live coding is way easier.
Yeah.
Just to push it. Well, I got questions.
Yeah.
So first question from Tom. I think you might answer it already, but who maintains the PHP set?
Who maintains the PHP set?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's mostly me and Abdul and the contributors. So every time there's some new feature in PHP, we add it to the PHP parser, and then we add it to the Rector. And it's always up to date, because every time there is a new PHP version, we want to also bump Rector, so we are eating our dog food. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So our next question.
Yeah.
A lot of people is asking, what happened there, man?
Yeah.
What happened? Where's your shoes?
It's too hot. It's too hot.
Okay,
no.
so you got your answer.
I'm very poor because I'm working with all legacy, so yeah. So it's so stressful.
Okay. And from the anonymous user. So what's your thoughts about the Laravel community?
Yeah. Well, I was never happier among developers. So this is like...
Yeah, that's true. I never see someone just as smiley.
Yeah.
The only person compared maybe is Bobby. Bobby's the other person that keeps this big as a smile. Yeah. But yeah, thank you. A big applause for Tomas.
Thank you. Thank you.